The DJI Osmo Pocket 3 is now better than ever for both casual vlogging and cinematic content, because it has a lot of the same features as a pro mirrorless camera, plus some features you won't find anywhere else. And it's had some game-changing updates. However, it still has some deal-breaking flaws. And with phones getting so good, the Pocket 3 price going up, plus a cheaper knockoff, is it still worth it? And if you want to check it out, I'll leave links down below with the best pricing on the Osmo Pocket 3. Now, if you're new to the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 or you need a reminder on why this camera rocks, the main thing people love about this camera is the built-in 3-axis gimbal. This keeps your footage perfectly smooth and stable, and it stays smooth even when mounted to a car on a highway. So no matter what you throw at it, this gimbal will not let you down. And using a gimbal opens up so many cinematic possibilities, both in terms of camera movement and the type of shots you get that really makes your work stand out. Like a 360 spin shot, hyperlapses, time lapses, panorama photos, there's so many possibilities. And you can even put this camera on a long selfie stick to get drone-like shots. But the best gimbal feature is subject tracking. This allows you to simply tap on a subject and track it as it moves around. And this works for both people and even fast-moving objects like cars. It's basically like having a free cameraman. And of course, you can also control the gimbal via the joystick on the back or wirelessly through your phone. And using your phone is definitely the best way to use the Pocket 3. The DJI Mimo app gives you a live view of everything your camera sees, including control over all of the major settings like subject tracking, frame rates, resolution, focus, even the different modes like photo, video, slow motion. And of course, you can also use the app to send all of the clips from the Pocket 3 directly to your phone, because the app also has a built-in editing tool with preset edits for a quick turnaround. The app also has the DJI Academy with tutorials on how to actually make content, with follow-along guides where it simply tells you what shots to make. You copy the shots and you can actually learn how to make content and become a filmmaker through the app. The app is absolutely amazing, and it's at least 40% the reason I recommend the Pocket 3. Now, you might be thinking, well, sure, the Pocket 3 might be nice, but there's no way this thing even comes close to a real camera or even a pro iPhone. And this is the part of the video where I'm going to blow your mind, because I'm going to show you something that I guarantee you have not seen anywhere else on YouTube, because I've actually been using the Pocket 3 on professional shoots. The Osmo Pocket 3 lets you shoot 4K in horizontal or 3K in vertical by simply flipping the screen to vertical. And the sensor is actually square, which means it does not cut off the top and bottom of your image when switching to vertical, giving you an actual vertical format to shoot. And both modes let you shoot in 24 or 30 frames per second, which is exactly what you need for vlogs and real-time shots. And you can also use the Osmo Pocket 3 as a webcam by plugging it into your computer. And all of the major features like the gimbal modes still work in webcam mode. And there's also a dedicated low light mode, which I personally think looks great and makes the Osmo Pocket 3 a very versatile camera for both vloggers and filmmakers. Now, most Pocket cameras have terrible audio, which is why most people don't use them for vlogging, but the Osmo Pocket 3 actually has 3 built-in microphones that sound fantastic, and this is what that audio sounds like. But if you really want to take it up a notch, I recommend buying the Creator Combo that actually comes with a DJI wireless microphone with built-in noise cancellation, 32-bit float audio, which is the gold standard for audio capture, and it's actually the same microphone I'm using right now to record this video. Or you can get a less expensive version with a mic mini. But either way, you get a spectacular camera package, because if you don't have good audio, you don't really have a good setup. Now, most cameras can also do slow motion really well, and the Osmo Pocket 3 lets you shoot 4K or 3K at 60 frames per second for 2x slow motion, or a dedicated ultra slow motion mode in horizontal mode that gives you 4K up to 120 frames per second and full HD up to 240 frames per second. Now, what's crazy about that and why I think the Osmo Pocket 3 stacks up to a pro mirrorless camera is because it has the same frame rates and resolution as an FX3, A7S III, and the ZV-E1, arguably the most popular video cameras out there from Sony, and those cameras are anywhere between $2,999 to $3,899. So the Osmo Pocket 3 actually gives you the same shooting options and creative tools as a pro camera, but for less than 25% of the cost, and it fits in your pocket. But it goes way beyond just frame rates and resolution, because the Osmo Pocket 3 actually has to look good. I've actually been using the Osmo Pocket 3 as my B camera next to an A7S III, FX3, and a ZV-E1 on several music videos, and it blends seamlessly with the mirrorless cameras. The Osmo Pocket 3 doesn't stand out at all after color grading, and that's because it has D-Log-M, a 10-bit color profile, which technically isn't a log format, but it delivers great dynamic range and color flexibility, and if you want a true log format, it also has hybrid log gamma, which is an actual log profile made for television. So if you know how to color grade, the Osmo Pocket 3 looks beautiful, and honestly, it puts most action and pocket cameras to shame, except for maybe the iPhone Pro, because Apple has log, ProRes RAW, 3 lenses, and also it's a $3.74 trillion company. I kinda don't blame DJI. But when you start comparing the Pocket 3 to the iPhone, this is where you start to see the pain points with the Pocket 3. It has a single 20mm fixed f2 aperture lens, and because it's such a wide lens, it's not ideal for all shooting scenarios. But on a lens like this, you also have a deep depth of field, so it doesn't have a lot of that cinematic blurry background look. But if you focus on something close to the lens, you do get a bit of background blur. And being stuck on a single 20mm lens when the iPhone has 3 lenses kinda sucks. However, DJI does have a solution for this. In their brand new update, you now have a 2x lossless mode, which basically gives you a 2x zoom on your main 20mm lens, giving you a 40mm equivalent, and this mode actually has some special sauce in it so you don't lose image quality when zooming in. But this mode does not have subject tracking or D-Log-M, which is the main reason I like this camera. Or the other solution is the magnetic filters that you can attach to the lens to get a wider field of view or a narrower field of view, and that kind of gives you multiple lenses on this camera. But once you attach these lenses, you can't put your gimbal in sleep mode and put it in your pocket because it will knock the lens off. And with a fixed f2 aperture, shooting outdoors is usually too bright. So you have to either crank your shutter speed or lower your ISO. And this almost always compromises your image quality so you don't get the best from your camera, which means the Pocket 3 is kind of unusable without a magnetic ND filter to cut out light and basically act as your aperture. And you can also keep your magnetic lens filters in the hard case the Osmo Pocket 3 comes with. However, you can get a very tiny ND filter that does not fall off when going into sleep mode. So this problem is fixable for about $50 to $60. However, you cannot stack a wide filter with an ND filter, so it's not a perfect compromise, but it gets you much closer to the triple lens setup of an iPhone Pro. And the iPhone can still shoot ProRes RAW and Apple log profile, but it also doesn't have a built-in gimbal. Personally, having both, I think they're different tools for different setups. I would probably pick up the Osmo Pocket 3 9 out of 10 times. The iPhone is nice, but it's not a real camera. Do not believe the hype. And the iPhone base model or Pro model is still significantly more expensive than the Osmo Pocket 3. Speaking of money, this is a good time to talk about the weird price hikes that the Osmo Pocket 3 has been getting, DJI potentially getting banned from the USA, and the weird DJI Osmo Pocket 3 clone that's been out there that's also slightly cheaper. Let's talk about it. Well, it's called the Extra Muse, and it's basically a 1-to-1 replica of the Osmo Pocket 3, both inside and out, with the exact same image, subject tracking, and menus. And that's because it actually is a DJI product under a new name to get around the tariffs and the potential ban. And they've also done this with other products just to skirt the law. Whether you like that or don't, not my business. I am not here to get political, but I do not recommend buying the Extra Muse. Even though it's the same hardware, it does not have the same software support, so you won't get the updates, and it will not connect to the DJI Mimo app, which is a huge reason why I love this camera. So in my opinion, the Osmo Pocket 3 is so unique and has such useful features that even if they double the price of this camera, I would still buy it. And I would definitely use it over my iPhone. It's a fantastic B camera to a proper mirrorless camera. If you're new to video and filmmaking, this is such a good place to start. And if you want to pick up the Osmo Pocket 3, I'll leave links down below with the best pricing, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.